I come to ask you to keep down the noise and please not break up any more furniture or throw your glasses. Some naval officers have complained very much." "Oh, dearie me," said Bull. "You mean the naval officers don't like to hear us throwing glasses?" "No, senor." Bull turned toward the far wall and, giving a signal to the other pilots in the room, all 13 of them hurled their glasses into the fireplace, already littered with bright shards of glass. "It will be charged to your bill, senor," the maitre d' said. "Beat it, Pedro," Bull said. "When I want a tortilla, I'll give you a call." "But, senor, I have other guests. Many of the officers in the Navy and their ladies. They ask me what the noise is. What am I to do?" "I'll handle them, Pedro," Bull said. "You run along now and chew on a couple of tacos while the boys and I finish up here. We should be done partying about a week from now." "No, senor. Please, senor. My other guests." When the maitre d' closed the door behind him, Bull walked over and made himself another drink. The other pilots crowded around him and did likewise. With a strong Texas accent, Major Sammy Funderburk said, "I did a little recon job early this here morning here, and I saw me some strange and willing nookie walking around the lobby of this here hotel here." "You know me better than that," Bull said. "I'm saving my body for my wife." "Since when, Colonel?" one of the young lieutenants shouted over the laughter. "Since very early this morning," Bull replied. "This here squadron here is the toughest bunch of Marine aviators ever assembled on this here God's green earth here," Sammy bellowed. "Hear ye," the others agreed. "I'd like to offer a toast," Bull shouted above the din, and the room quieted. "I'd like to toast the greatest Marine fighter pilot that ever shit between two shoes." He lifted his drink high in the air and continued his toast as the other pilots elevated their glasses. "This man has lived without fear, has done things with an airplane that other men have never done, has spit in death's eye 1,000 times, and despite all this has managed to retain his Christ-like humility. Gentlemen, I ask you to lift your glasses and join me in toasting Colonel Bull Meecham." Amid the hisses and jeers that followed this toast, Captain Ronald Bookout whispered to Bull, "Sir, I think we might get into a little trouble if we don't hold it down a little. I just peeked out toward the restaurant, and there are a lot of Navy types in there. I'd hate for you to get in trouble on your last night in Europe." "Captain," Bull said loudly so the other Marines would hear his reply, "there's something you don't understand about the Navy. The Navy expects us to be wild. That's so they can feel superior to us. They think we're something out of the Ice Age, and it is entirely fitting that we maintain this image. They expect us to be primitive, son. And it is a sin, a mortal sin, for a Marine ever to let a goddamn squid think we are related to them in any way. Hell, if I found out that Naval Academy grads like to screw women, I'd give serious consideration to becoming a pansy. As a Marine, and especially as a Marine fighter pilot, you've got to constantly keep them on their toes. I can see them out there now, mincing around like they've got icicles stuck up their butts. They think the Corps is some kind of anal fungus they gotta put up with. Hell, I'd rather go to war against the Navy than the Russians," Ace Norbit declared. "Ace, that's always been one of my dreams, that the Navy and the Marine Corps go to war. I figure it would take at least 15 minutes for Marine aviators to make Navy aviators an extinct form of animal life," Bull said. "They'd have supremacy on the sea, though," Captain Bookout said. "Let 'em have it. The thing I want to see is those swabbies storming a beach. I bet 3 Marines could secure a beach against the whole U.S. Navy. Hell, I could hold off half the Navy with just a slingshot and 6 pissed-off, well-trained oysters on the half-shell." A long whoop and clamor with whistling and foot-stomping arose in the room. It took an extended moment for the room to fall silent when the maitre d' appeared in the doorway, accompanied by an aroused Navy captain. The maitre d' smiled triumphantly as he watched the captain stare with majestic disapproval at the assembled Marines, some of whom had snapped to attention as soon as the Navy captain had materialized in the doorway. The power of rank to silence military men survived even into the pixelated frontiers and distant boundaries of drunkenness. "Who is the senior officer in this group?"